Let's play. What's guys? Mars here with episode 46 of my Minecraft Let's Play series. Wow, this has been a productive slash crazy weekend. I guess the first thing I can say is that I've been working very hard in this world over the past, I don't know, about a day or so, trying to get things built, trying to get things pulled together. You know that one forest that I had to deal with a while ago? Well, I've burned and chopped a good portion of it so far. I'm going to be working on that behind the scenes in the last few videos. Let me show you guys all the wood that has already come out of chopping down all those forests. Not that stuff. That whole row, first of all, including that, and there's a bit more wood at my outpost, which I established. You guys remember the cave from, like 30 episodes ago? No, you don't. I'll show it to you. My plan today actually was to build a, you guys' favorite, a land bridge. This is an actual land bridge. To the outpost. And I had a little shenanigan that happened. You know what? Screw it. I was gonna say I'm gonna go get a shovel. You know what? Screw it. I'll just dig it out. It'll be fine. It'll take me a little bit longer, but hey. What was I gonna say? Oh, little shenanigan happened. I think it was earlier today, actually. This is now Monday, January 19th. Just sort of wanted to have the date out there to give everyone context. Can't believe it's almost the end of January 2015. This January has been flying by. Anyway, as I knew it would, because we've had so many days off of school, etc., etc. Anyway, moving on. A little shenanigan that happened today. I got separated from where I was supposed to be. I went into that jungle not jungle, but biome I was talking about, where my computer runs really slowly. It got to the point where it almost broke the game like 10 times. So I was basically fighting my way out of there. And with that, I ended up getting out on the wrong side of the world. You see the compass on my ninth little square? This thing right here? Yeah, I had to go down into the bottom of the world. I had to dig out the iron and the redstone in order to make that thing, in order to navigate back to the base successfully. That's what I was doing for the first hour of my time because I was an idiot and got lost. So that was a fun little shenanigan. I was really scared that I was going to have to give up and just explain to you guys how I lost everything because I'm an idiot. But hey, I recovered. I have an extra compass. And, I got almost a full stack of iron to boot. So, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. What I'm working on right now is we seem to be building right now towards the first little cave system that we've encountered. That would be correct because then we got to take a left and head over a few valleys and we're at my outpost. And I also built a little cobblestone building where I had to find all those minerals. So that will also be another little place where I can go mining or whatever. What I do like about these bridges is that, and you guys will see this in a little bit. Actually, before I forget, gotta turn this off peaceful. Um, you guys will see in a minute where this bridge, in certain cases, extends over the land to where the land doesn't affect me. So I feel like I'm a superior race kind of thing. It feels like I'm like the aliens invading Earth. That probably came up because what have I been doing over the past few days? Like Friday, I was playing Halo 3 ODST. That whole dealio where the Covenant attacked New Mombasa and all of that. Gave Sadie's story a listen again. That was really nice to go back through and play. I really missed sort of that sort of campaign where it's just it goes. If you guys don't know, it goes back and forth between the rookie who was the first member of his team, not first member, but new member on the. He's the new guy in the squad, and so he gets separated from the rest of them. They all get separated in what's referred to as an accident. In that situation, he wakes up 6 hours after everybody else does. Okay. He has to then find all of the clues that his team allegedly left behind in order to finally track down sort of the main boss of the squad, who is actually who's nicknamed Dare, essentially. The reason I say main boss of the squad is that because she was reassigned to his squad, I'm really explaining this terribly. Let me explain who all the squad mates are. Got Buck, who's like the leader. Got Romeo, sniper. Got Dutch. What does he do? Mostly in the game, he seems just like basically Mickey's sidekick, but that's definitely not all it is. I'm gonna go heavy weapon specialist. Mickey explosives. Good God, that guy. He'll blow up the world. Anyway, he's not like that though. He's actually a really nice guy. It's like I'm explaining these guys like I know them. Um, Let me see. I think I covered everybody except for then the rookie, who is sort of the newest addition. And if you've noticed a trend, Halo 3 ODST and Halo Reach have that same aspect. You're the new guy on the team who is expected to sort of carry out whatever is needed. On the Halo Reach team, you were called Noble 6, and on the Halo 3 ODST team, you were called the Rookie. Quite an interesting parallel. I actually just made that as I was sitting here thinking about it. Obviously, Sadie's story is through what are called the audio files, which you can find spread out through the darkened streets of New Mombasa. Why I didn't bring more wood with me, I don't know. I just hit the end of my wood, so I have to go back. Oh my god. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, I might, because I missed last week, I'm thinking of making this episode longer. You guys cool with that? Hopefully you are. If you're not, you can cut it at 20 minutes, you can cut it whenever you want. Just sort of a heads up. Normally I aim for these to be about 15-20 minutes. I'm going to probably put this one to about half an hour. Because I got so much to talk about and whatnot. I haven't even hit like all the subjects I want to talk about yet. There will be a point where I'm reading stuff off. Just a heads up. And etc. etc. But back to ODST stuff. The audio files were things that you could find by exploring the darkened city streets of the occupied city, which was obviously Mombasa. And from there, it sort of evolved into this story about a civilian named Sadie who has to try to save her father, herself, and then a cop she runs into named Mike, and basically escape the city. It's a really simple story, but now that I think about it, it was a sort of nice step for Bungie to take with that, because Bungie had never tried anything like that before, as far as I know. But if you look back through other video games, I can't name anyone specific, but if you guys know the gaming world, you'll obviously be able to name very quickly. There have been other games that have featured side stories which are very emotional. The first thing that comes to mind is The Last of Us. Since I never played it, I don't know how that side story would play into it. So, there's that. I do have flaws in my knowledge. A lot of those flaws are PS3 related, but he's basically PlayStation related. Most of the Xbox stuff I've got a handle on, but then I didn't get the newest console, so I don't know. I have been paying attention to the Rooster Teeth podcast as well as other gaming news sources. I should have said the patch, the Rooster Teeth podcast. So I've heard a lot about Destiny. First of all, that's sort of a thing that I wanted to talk about. Actually, this provides a perfect transition into something I wanted to read off here. And I'll try to read this off while doing this. I'm not sure how that's going to be possible, though. I am a fortunate subscriber of the Game Informer magazine. Have been for a while. And I just wanted to, because it was the new year, they have a list of the top 50 video games released, in their opinion. So I thought that I would give it a shot, read it off, because it's kind of cool to see what other people have to say. Also, I didn't recognize a lot of the titles on this list, so that made me more excited to figure out what in the world they were, and if I could get my hands on them or not. In most cases, I couldn't. That sucks. But they do say on here that 2014 is a bit of a dry year in comparison to other years, because instead of asking the question, out of all these video games, which one would I pick as my favorite, you ask, what game did I enjoy this year that wasn't a remake? Because they had a lot, because it was the transitional year between the I guess last gen and next gen consoles. It was tough to sort of get your footing if you were a gaming company because you had to sort of learn the limitations of the hardware. I do want to make some complaints about the Xbox One though that I've heard about. For instance, they've got a whole bunch of separate apps for different things. I heard about that. There was like a chat app. There's like a messaging app. Back on the 360, like I looking over at it right now. This is how it does it. It has literally, you've got. I know you can't see. I'm like indicating with my hand. You can't see it. You've got. I can't remember the exact thing. You got friends, party messages, but yeah, like above that you've got Xbox Home, and then you've got like the option to click on the button and then it'll play the game. You've also got beacons and then something else. That was all in one place. That was basically your social tab, and you could get to that by hitting one button. Pretty sweet, you know. That's not how the Xbox started out, though. It had like the blades that came on the side of the screen. So the main complaint with the One is just get your stuff together before you ship it. Make sure that it doesn't have the flaws that the last one had. That's just sort of the major complaint that a lot of people have with it. I, of course, can't personally complain about it, except for the government using it to listen on people and kick them off of Xbox Live for swearing if they're talking on Skype. Those are very specific examples. Speaking of the Xbox One specifically, we had some DDoS attacks over the past year. That was mentioned in the Game Informer magazine as well. Once I get to safety here, I'm actually going to read off of this magazine just sort of the top 50 and then a lot of the headlines that were of this year. And then also somebody wanted me to talk about something. I think it was something about countries. So I will definitely get into that in a little bit as well. That's why this video is going to be so long. I only have 20 minutes. So it's going to be interesting. So now that we're safe, I'm going to go ahead and go into the top 50 games of 2014 here. Hopefully, I think I might put up a little annotation if you want to skip this part. I don't know why you would. Even if you aren't interested in the video game industry, it is still good to know what this multi-billion-dollar industry is producing. So, given the realities of the current to next-gen console transition, this year was not as good as the other ones. You know, Game Informer says that in the introduction. Unfortunately, they didn't rank it 1 to 50. They ranked it in the order of release for January, February, March, etc. So I'm just going to read it in that order. Yeah, let's get to it. So, January 14th was the Banner Saga, which was on PC, iOS, and Android, so that's one reason why I didn't hear about it. It was a PC game. Basically, what it looks like is visually stunning game, tough choices, twist on traditional turn-based strategy games, got a moving narrative about survivors in a harsh Norse fantasy landscape, and apparently that makes it compelling. That actually does sound really compelling. Norse. You get me on that word. If any of you have ever studied Norse, wow. Struggling. If any of you have ever studied Norse mythology, you know it's kind of weird compared to Roman and Greek mythology anyway. It was in the back of my mythology book. I never got to it in 10th grade. Another one called Threes. This was on the Xbox One, iOS, and Android. It's a puzzle challenger. Reminds me of 2048, actually, but that's not what it is. You slide number tiles across a grid, and you combine multiples of 3 in the quest for a high score. Wow. That was it. That was literally all it was. Pretty nice that got into the list of top 50 games of the year. Okay. Well done. Oh, here we go. Danganronpa. Trigger Happy Havoc. This was about a demented bear locking 15 students in a school and promising freedom to anyone who kills a classmate and gets away with it. Yeah, that's basically all that game has to offer. I'm going to move on. I never heard of it, so I actually just went out of order. That was February 11th. This is February 7th. Bravely Default. Inside joke of myself, that's why I laughed. It actually goes back to an old school Final Fantasy style, so that's kind of cool. That's all the highlights for that. Strider was February 18th, PS4, Xbox One, PS3, 360, PC. Sorry, I'm not reading off the types of games. Literally, the other two games that I mentioned were on one system. This was Strider made by something called Double Helix. Metroid style. You have world to explore. Yeah, it doesn't really capture me with anything. But yeah, I guess it's just visually it's fun to play, I guess. Okay, here's one everybody will recognize. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, February 21st on the Wii U. Nintendo's reputation for releasing the best platforms in the business continues with the latest DKA entry from Retro Studios. I'm gonna get to something else in a second. Uh, okay, it looks like this blows the veterans out of the water. What the? Oh, I know what that means. It means it brings casual players to their knees. Okay. What that sounded like to me was it gave the other games a run for their money, like Donkey Kong Returns or Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2, that kind of stuff. I probably named all of those wrong, so if you want to swear at me, go ahead. Top 10 headlines. That's it in the bottom of the thing here. Got Mojang acquired by Microsoft, Facebook buying Oculus, DDoS attacks. You got Father of Video Games dying, did not know about that. Flappy Bird, that's just infamous in itself. And Atari burial rumors prove true. I might just do random. I might just do separate videos on each of those topics because these are really fun to talk about. I could talk about these for a good amount of time. And then Microsoft abandons Kinect. That I actually skipped. I didn't see that at first. Yeah, it kind of abandoned Kinect in order to push the price down, I believe. Let's see. Thief, February 25th. PS4, Xbox One, PS3, 360, and PC. Uh. Okay. Yeah, I can't really describe this game. Like, they give you a good description, but I just can't do it, so I'm just going to move on. February 27th, 2 days later, Shadowrun Dragonfall. I've literally never heard of these games. uh, it's on PC, Mac, Linux. That's cool. Linux getting some games. iOS and Android. Got some science fiction and magic collision in futuristic Berlin. Okay, that is kind of cool. That line catching me, that is kind of cool. Moving on with, this is what I've heard of, definitely. March 4th, South Park Stick of Truth. Got PS3, 360, and PC. If you don't like swearing, do not play that game. Uh, sorry, I saw someone's name. There it is, okay. I looked back at my cube for a second, I saw someone's name. Just, what the heck, okay. And that's just infamous in itself. Top 10 free games as services. Got Dota 2, League of Legends, Path of Exile, Clash of Clans, Marvel Heroes, Puzzle and Dragons, Star Wars: The Old Republic, World of Tanks, Neverwinter, and Marvel Puzzle Quest. I know like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those games. So half that list I even knew existed. Falling behind. Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft. That was another build-up of World of Warcraft. That was on the PC, Mac, and iOS. Titanfall, of course. Gotta love that game. Xbox One, 360, and PC. Warning, the 360 version was capped. That was a sort of reduced version of Titanfall, which was supposed to be really for the Xbox One. So don't get the 360 version. Buy an Xbox One if you want to get Titanfall. That's my suggestion, based off of the patch. Dark Souls 2, PC, 360, PS3, sorry, 360, and PC. That was an action RPG game. I think, yeah, this is something my friend was telling me about. It's insane. You guys just gotta look into it. Infamous Second Son. This gets its own little section of a page. So I don't know much about Infamous. I think I tried to play one of the Infamous games like a game store one time. I just gave up. So we're gonna move on from there. That was on the PS4, March 21st. Top 10 successes of the year. New console sell, breakneck paces, of course. Bonus games from like Xbox Live Gold. That was a thing. Let's see. PlayStation 4 put Sony back on top. That's an interesting fact, actually. I'm going to read this whole thing. The PS2 was the dominant console of its era, which was basically the GameCube and the Xbox being its main competitors. But the PS3 ceded much of Sony's market share to the Xbox 360 and the Wii, which were the next levels up for those two companies. With a strong start out of the gate, the surging PS4 has reclaimed the top spot for Sony, sold the heck more than 13 million units to date. That's actually a really cool thing to think about. So back in the GameCube, regular Xbox, and PS2 days, PS2 dominated apparently with God of War and whatnot. Coming up to the 360, PS3, and Wii, Xbox 360 and the Wii stole some of the PlayStation's market share. Back to the PS4, putting it back on top. That's a really cool thing to take note of. Twitch keeps growing. Let me read this here. Wall Street Journal reported that Twitch falls just behind Netflix, Apple, and Google. Yeah, I remember that. When it comes to peak web traffic, besting services like Hulu and ESPN, which climbs onto esports and all of that, which I think I've mentioned in a previous video. That explains why Amazon paid nearly $1 billion for the popular web service. So they've got Audible.com, they've got Twitch. What else are they trying to get? Hearthstone, which I just mentioned earlier, Heroes of Warcraft, brings CCGs to the mainstream. What does that mean? Collectible card games. Got it. I answered my own question. Dota 2 tournament prize pool hits 10.9 million. Dota 2 is basically I believe it's a real-time strategy game? No. It's basically League of Legends. I think is what it is. Old games shine like new. Remix. Shadow of Mordor's. Nemesis. I don't know what that is. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, never mind. Horror makes a strong comeback, so the horror genre has basically come back a little bit, and the classic PC RPGs return. You can tell, if you can't tell by now, Game Informer is just packed with information. Wow. Like, if you start off reading this magazine, like 14, 15, by the time you hit my age, 18 or 19, you're going to know, like, the past 5 years in the industry. So if you've been behind, just start ordering these magazines. You'll be caught up very quickly. Alright, I've actually got to speed the pace a little bit here if I want to make this half-hour cut. Smite, which came out March 25th on the PC. You know, I actually don't know anything about this game. There's a Smite tournament for Rooster Teeth, but I don't know. Diablo 3, you heard a lot about that. I'm actually going to try and multitask here so I can get this done. We got Super Time Force on the Xbox One. We got Kirby Triple Deluxe. You can guess what that's in on the 3DS. We got Transistor. That's an interesting title. I gotta try and jump. Again, I'm glancing like between it and then to the computer screen and the back again, desperately trying to do this. Okay, where's the path? Oh, good lord. Use the compass. Oh god. Okay. Let's see, we got Wolfenstein The New Order. That was on the PS4, Xbox One, PS3, 360, and PC. We got Mario Kart 8. Everyone's heard about that by now. On the Wii U, I know 2 other games that's going to be on this list if that's on this list. Where in the world is my thing that I was building? What the heck? Where's this thing? Did I miss it? Oh my god, it's all the way back here. Okay. Again, I hate all these trees. I really, really do. Good lord. Okay. Yep. So let's see what else we got here. That was the rest of that page. Now I can turn the page. Transistor was actually on Linux. That was cool. Shovel Knight, whatever in the world that is. That was on the Wii U, 3DS, and PC. I probably should have put this in like a separate video, but then no one would have watched it. Divinity Original Sin, that was on PC and Mac. I'm trying to build this here, hold on. Dang it. There we go. And again, if you're not interested in the gaming sort of genre by now, no offense, but what is wrong with you? You're gonna have to eventually get into it. It's kind of accept that fact now. But yeah, no, I will definitely link in the description to a separate video where I just talk about the rest of these because this list is enormous. And I got another subject that I got to get to. We have 5 minutes left. I love that I'm literally running this like an actual news show now. Where was that in relation to everything else? I can't even remember. Oh, I need to hit that. Okay. So what we needed to talk about for like the last 5 minutes or so is the good old question posed by one of our viewers here. The question is, what do you believe the best country is and why? You know what? I definitely should not have unearthed that question in the last 5 minutes of the video. I'm trying to think here. I think I will film a separate video where I talk about that. But I will say that I asked someone this about a week or so ago, and they came back and said they gave me a list of top three: U.S., Canada, and then Israel. And this person was quite a religious person, and it was a very interesting answer. And I definitely enjoyed having that answer. But that sort of brings up the question to everybody else: what do you guys think? Personally, I'm not 100% sure what the best country would be. It sort of depends on how you define best. I don't mean to wiggle out of the question a little bit, but it does. It depends on how you define the word best. You can say the best military, you got the U.S. That's pretty much it. No, I'm kidding. You can say sort of where you feel the safest. It's probably still the U.S. Despite everything that's going on over here, it's probably still the safest in the world. You got best democracy rate. You got Norway for some reason. We found that out in AP ComGov. Got the best government. Depends on how you define the best government. If you want government who has a lot of control in the country, you got China or Russia. Call them up on that one. You got one where the executive is constantly challenged by the legislature. You're looking at the UK, and it's very interesting how people will define best, and that's just sort of my conclusionary statement on that. No, it depends on how you define best. I don't mean to slide out of the question. But I will definitely address that a little bit better in my next video, which I think I'm just going to film maybe even right after this one and just upload it like tomorrow or something. Because I do kind of owe you guys one. I missed last Friday and I've missed a whole bunch recently. The schedule's been really going haywire and I really owe it up to you guys to sort of get it all on track. So that's that. This will basically be part one of two. I think two will come out either tonight or tomorrow. And then we'll be back on track, Wednesday and, Thursday and Friday. Why the hell not, I mean, I'm literally going to school 2 days this week. It'd be really unfair for me if I only did 3. I also need to expand into other video games as well. I mentioned that before. Hopefully we will eventually get to that. Just Cause 2, etc. Which, Just Cause 2 to me basically being the ultimate open world game thus far, simply because of the grappling hook and the stunt parachute, which just kicks everything up a notch. Let me go ahead and extend this world a little bit so I can see where I'm building to here. Over there. Okay, so I need to go right along this ridge is what we're getting at. Yeah, that's what I need to do. So I'll need to extend over this area, get to this point. Actually, I'm going to mark it. Let's mark this point. It's the next point the bridge needs to reach. I'll just mark a few checkpoints. There we go. How are you guys enjoying this? I mean, I'm trying to do projects now to sort of keep it interesting, keep it real. And this is also sort of reminiscent of the bridge that I built where I was really happy and peppy and all that. I'm really trying to bring the energy now. Like, I'm really starting to see that people appreciate it when I'm energetic and bubbly and happy and all that. And I've been watching a compilation of all the Rooster Teeth craziness over this whole day. Desperately working on this world, trying to get stuff done. So it is fun. I will say that again to anyone who has not played Minecraft yet. You need to get on that. It's a really fun game. It's also a very addicting game. Said that to my forensics teacher many times. With a mind like my forensics teacher, I know I got on about this a lot. He would play this. He'd probably never stop playing it. He would just be hooked. And that's sort of what Minecraft's strength is hooking you in and just pulling you in and just destroying hours upon hours upon hours of your life. People who know me very well, they know that I spend a lot of time on this game. People usually don't understand why I spend so much time on this game. I have, of course, Coda is a great example of that. She's played it, let me give her that. She's played it a lot. She's played a lot of different servers. She's played a lot of different things. Am I saying she has no life? No. What I'm saying is that she's gotten bored with it, and I'm saying that's justified. That's what I'm saying. I don't mean to bring her up in every video now because I realize I do that, but hey, she's awesome. So, gotta love her. Can't really say that. I mean that in sort of like, let me explain what I mean by that actually, if I do say that. I just mean support, that kind of stuff. I'm actually just realizing that we've gone over the half an hour time limit. So, with that, guys, part 1 of episode 46, or what I'm going to call this thing, the actual land bridge, and video games, and whatnot. So, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow, honestly. And have a great day, night, weekend, week. I'm not even going to try. I can't even think. Let's stop.